So Harman have come out with a new film and they've called it Red. No doubt you've already heard about it and seen about it already. Well, I've got some in my bag and I'm just going to go off now. It's Tuesday, so it's not even Friday. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to go off for the very first time and see what I think of it. So basically this stuff is Redscale film and it's no new kind of technology, Redscale. It's already out there. I think Lomography have got one called Redscale. And to be honest with you, I had to read it up because I didn't have a clue what Redscale was. Most of you know I don't shoot a great deal of colour. So why would I know what Redscale is, which is colour film? So I had to do a little bit of research. And if you want Redscale film, you can make it yourself. You just get a colour roll of film, go into your darkroom or under your duvet or wherever you want to go, as long as it's pitch black, and you take the film out of the canister and you put it back in the canister the other way round. So the emulsion is facing the outside. And that is basically what Redscale film is. But Harman have done all the hard work for you. Could you imagine doing that if you want to try it out? It'd be a right old faff, especially 120 film. Who wants to take that apart and try and put it back? So Harman have taken all the hard work out of it and they've came out with Red film. Now, the thing is, we all know Harman about a year ago released Phoenix, which is their 200 speed colour film. It's the only colour film they do. So it makes sense. They've taken their Phoenix, spun it round the other way, re-spooled it, and gave us something interesting to play with, Red film. So it's going to be no secret, Harman only produce one colour film, and that's Phoenix 200. So they've gone and taken their Phoenix 200 film, flipped the film the other way around in their machines, and came out with Redscale film. Let's have a look at the two films side by side. So here's the two films side by side. There's your Phoenix and there's your Red. You can see the Phoenix emulsion side is exactly the same as the gloss side of the Red. So I'll just do a simple scene at the moment. Bit of sand, bit of water, Redscale, f8 1/60th of a second. You can see here I'm putting Harman Phoenix 200 into my camera and the gloss side is facing us and the emulsion side is facing the lens. And here I'm putting the Harman Red into the camera. Now the emulsion side is facing us and the gloss side is facing the lens. And here they are side by side, and no doubt because of the change, Harman has rated the Red film at 125 ISO. But why, when putting the film in reverse, does it create this red-orange look? And I really have no clue about it, so I looked on the internet. So colour film has multiple layers of emulsion, each sensitive to different colours of light, blue, green and red. And these layers are arranged in a specific order with the blue sensitive layer on top. And when light hits the film, it passes through these layers in order to record the different colours of the scene. When you flip the film the other way round, the light first hits the red sensitive layer followed by the green and then the blue. And then this reversal process causes a strong colour shift towards red as the red layer gets more exposure. And the other layers receive less light, resulting in a diminished presence of the other colours. Interesting. f8 1/25th of a second. Let's get a little bit of the wake. Oh, seagull just started to fly off. Let's take another shot. Okay. So there's a man here coming. I'm going to spin round and get a shot of him and his dog from behind. And this is no new technology either. This was more than likely discovered a long time ago. It was discovered soon after colour film was discovered and sheet film as well. And I should imagine that it was discovered by accident, where a photographer would accidentally put a sheet of colour film into their camera the wrong way round. Take photographs and think, what's happened to my pictures? They've all gone red. They've all gone orangey and red. So I think that's where it came from. And then they thought, this is quite interesting. So people out there wanting to be creative at the time may have used that way to make interesting photographs. That might have been, could you imagine album covers back in the day, the record sleeves? If you go back to the 60s and the 70s and 80s, the album sleeve was like the bee's knees. You know, you really had to know what you was doing with that. It was all a big competition, who can create the best album cover. And I can imagine that some of them might have used this technique to get that orangey red hue. It's interesting stuff. So I'm going to go off down the beach and shoot it. I've already had a quick Google about shooting it because we ain't got no sun in the UK now, or at least where I live. for the next millennium. And today it's sort of like light overcast, and I thought, is that going to work with this film? So I googled it, and apparently it's really good for this sort of film, light overcast. So I thought, okay, I'll go down the beach, test the roll out, and see how we get on. That might be interesting. Red kayak there with a bit of orange going on. You see that white? I'm going to get it right as they go past that white piece, just to make them stand out right there. And most of you out there will probably be saying, what's the point, you know, in buying something like this? You could do the same thing in Photoshop, blah, da, 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 da. We've all been lazy with Photoshop over the years. It does pretty much everything that mimics any film can do in a sort of roundabout way. But I don't think that's the point. I think the point is just being fun and creative and enjoying shooting films. If this is something that's not for you, that's fine. If it is something that people want to enjoy and try something different, I totally get it. But I think it's something that Harman can do, and I think it's something that Harman thought, if we can do it, why don't we spool it, put it out there and see what happens. And if it does sell well in 35mm format, maybe they might do it with their 120 Phoenix, who knows. But I guess for people that are interested in or maybe curious about Redscale, I guess instead of sabotaging a roll of film yourself, pulling a, I don't know, Phoenix 200 out in the darkroom and putting it back in reverse, it saves all the faff of doing that. And you've got to buy the film anyway. So I'm going to do an exposure test. I'm at 1/60th of a second, metered in at f8. So let's take a first shot, and then we'll come to 5.6 and open up just to see what happens. I must admit, I am looking forward to getting back and after these photographs and see what I've got and the different results that I get with maybe different colours or different scenes. But no doubt there'll be loads of other videos on this film for you guys to jump on, so you'll get some really, really good, interesting results, I should imagine, much better than mine, and see what other people can come out with. Obviously couldn't fit that one in, look at that. Oh, how snug does that look? That's worth a little shot. You should be all set up what I just did. Yes, fine. Which is the... I've just got to press that one now. Oh, that one. And this one is to focus. So you look through there and you just focus on that. Is that all right? So I'll take the out off. Yeah, can you get the focus? There you go. You're a photographer. Will do. Thank you so much, mate. Top man, thank you. If you look online, there's loads of photographs already. If you just Google Redscale film, you'll see a whole ton of photographs that people have done themselves with Redscale, either with that lomography one, which is quite expensive, I believe. If I was looking, it's quite expensive. But you'll see a whole range of different people's looks from Redscale. I wonder if they ever done it in motion picture film. That's interesting to think. I wonder if they ever did something like that in motion picture film, like in a cinema. Reverse the film the other way round to get this Redscale look. Maybe for a real orangey looking sunset or something. Interesting. You know, I do like a bench, guys. I've got this fetish for benches. pretty much the same shot as before, but this time we're much further back. So this is one of the photographs I like. This one's just of the bench. There's this elderly couple sitting on the bench just having a chat with each other. He's turned around, he's looking at his wife or whatever. And it's just one of those nice little moments. The sky is what intrigued me. Was the sky was kind of like a very light, bluey, overcast sky. And you've got this yellow sky going on here, the road where the black stars all come out red. It's just all a bit strange. But I do like this photograph. I must admit, I can imagine this being an album cover or something. You know, back in the 70s, I already showed you that in the video, and I mocked one up as well. I could see its interest back then, definitely, for people that, you know, they didn't have Photoshops and whatever. They did everything by hand and by skill. So I'd imagine this was definitely a technique that they would have adopted, possibly large format, medium format, or whatever, to get these sort of results. Another shot I liked of mine was the guy approaching on the bike. I didn't waste much time taking photographs. I was just literally trying this film out. So I was just enjoying myself, snapping away at whatever I saw. And this guy coming forward to me, he's got his scarf around his head, he's got his 90s Oasis hat on by the looks of it, and a pair of sunglasses. He looked pretty cool. And this is that kind gentleman that I asked him to take a photograph of me, just so I could see his skin tones. And then I took a photograph of him. He didn't want to be too recognised, so I made him pull his coat around his face, just keeping his hat, his furry hood there in the shot. But you know, portraits. I think maybe that's where this film could excel. Portraits and street photography, where people are in it. And also with that Phoenix grain, I've noticed it's got that nice, pleasing grain that Phoenix holds on colour film. And I've just realised that's the same guy on the bike going past the beach huts. And this shot here where I spun round, I saw this guy coming up towards me with his dog. He had a red jacket on, and I just wanted to see what the red would look like. So I took the chance there and then spun round and took the shot. And there it is there. Not really, it doesn't really stand out as red or anything, but it was just interesting to try out. And you might be wondering about the last two shots I took. That was a parking meter and there was a man in the background. I took two shots. You can see I took one as the man was coming from the left to the right and the parking meter over on the right. And then I just moved over a bit to get the parking meter on the left and the guy on the right in the second scene. And there's one thing that I've been meaning to try for so long with Phoenix film, and that is to develop this in black and white chemicals. I want to see how this film comes out in black and white chems. I've done it before with a lot of different colour films in black and white chemicals. I'd like to see how this comes out. So keep your eyes open peeled. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do a video on the Phoenix in black and white chemicals and see how that comes out. Because the base is certainly much different to any other colour film that I've ever seen before. So there you have it, the journey continues with Harman's colour film technology, turning Phoenix into a red film by flipping it around. And it's no secret, you can see it on the negatives, it comes up Phoenix 200. And I developed the film in Cinestill C41 powder kit that I've got, and as I was developing I put the Blix in, put that on the rotary processor, and I thought, what's that strange noise? I turned around and the lid had popped off the tank. I hadn't put it on strong enough. And of course the Blix was coming out into me rotary processor. So panic stations, I had to quickly put some more Blix in, but it didn't ruin the negs. Lucky enough, I managed to salvage those. These are the negatives that I got from that shoot. And as you can see, Phoenix fashion, they've got this bluey tint to them. So I was really looking forward to seeing how these would come out. I kind of see it like if you want to shoot colour film, you can have the best of both worlds in Photoshop. You can flip it to black and white if you want, or you can do it in the darkroom with the colour negative. But if you enjoy shooting colour film, and you haven't got a darkroom, you don't do any printing apart from Photoshop and an inkjet printing, you may as well just take the Phoenix film and then make a red hue on that in Photoshop. You'll get similar results, exactly what I did in Photoshop with one of the car photographs that I took. And if you have got a darkroom and you enjoy colour printing, then maybe this is something that you'll enjoy. But either way, we love shooting film photography. We love experimenting with, you know, different films and different stuff. And I guess there's going to be people out there that can't wait to get their hands on this stuff and see how it performs. But above all, you've got to give Harman credit for not leaving everything stagnant and stale in the film community. They recognise that it's booming. They recognise there's a lot of people now shooting film, and have decided to come out with something different, using one of their already colour films, flipping it around for people to try. But it's there if anybody wants to try out Redscale Film. They reversed their Phoenix for them to do so. Other than that, like I said at the start of the video, you could take any colour film into the darkroom if you want to faff about, pull it all out of the cassette and flip it back round the other way and give it a go. But I think Harman Phoenix 200 has got its own quirkiness anyway. And be warned guys, if you've never tried Redscale before, it may get you curious as it did me. I started to wonder what street photography would look like. Portraits, woodland, bright sunlight and studio flash as well. And I've got a feeling that I'll be having a lash with a few rolls of this Redscale in the future, just out of curiosity. The only thing I can't do is take the negs in the darkroom and make prints, as I can only print black and white, but there's nothing to stop me from having fun with the film, scanning it and taking it to my local inkjet master if I want one on the walls indoors. So after I shot the farm and the donkeys, I saved a few frames to test indoors on a few selfies with different colour lights. This was under red light, this was under orange light, and this was under a green light, and the last one I took was under a normal white light. What do you guys think? And I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, and I'm sure there'll be other videos and other information about this Harman Red film for you to lap up as well, and I'll catch you next time.